The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. And for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. The X Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, Star Cable, and our growing family of broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, the Caribbean, Central America, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, India, Africa, and Europe. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Don't forget, X Zone Nation, the September edition of the X Chronicles newspaper is online with our compliments and the compliments of our advertisers at www.xchronicles-newspaper.com/publisher. My guest this hour is AstroNumerologist Jesse Kalsi. And Jesse graduated from the National Defense Academy of India and pursued advanced studies at the Indian Military Academy. He served as a captain in the 1st Battalion, 3rd Gurkha Rifles, formerly called the Queen's Own. Intending to devote his life to military affairs, Jesse left the Army when he was informed of his true life purpose while posted at the Jammu-Kashmir frontier. And Jesse, first of all, welcome back to the X Zone. Great having you with us. And what was... what were you informed was your life's destiny?
Rob, when I was on my the forward defended locality on the J&K frontier, which is Jammu and Kashmir, we had a lot of, like most officials who are in the infantry, have a lot of authority, and I realized that something suddenly came on me and told me that I had no business to authorize, these, the FDLs opening fire on people at night, and which is routine actually. If on an international border, if you see any torchlights at night, we authorize to, open fire and, report to our higher authorities then. But suddenly something told me that one morning when I was going down my picket up and down, as if that this is not what I was supposed to do, and I had no business to fire on people. And as if my whole life perception changed, and I suddenly felt that I was in a wrong place, and I didn't belong in that uniform anymore. And then when I decided to resign and leave my commission, it was very upsetting for my commanding officer, and it was very upsetting for my late father as well, who also served the Indian Air Force. But then my calling was so strong, and I just went with it. And, had a difficult life, but then in the end, it's all kind of fallen in place, and I've discovered my true life purpose.
And what is your true life purpose?
It is metaphysical work. It is, sharing, helping people with the use of numerology, with the use of numbers, to balance their lives, to make their lives flow better, to create more prosperity and harmony in this world, and bring more happiness in people's lives using numbers.
Over the next hour, Jesse, we're going to talk about numbers, how numbers affect our listeners' lives, and what they can do to actually change the numbers in their life so that they can lead a better life. Jesse Kalsi is our special guest, X Zone Nation. His website is www.jessekalsi.com, and that's JesseKalsi.com. This is the X Zone. My name is Rob McConnell, and Jesse Kalsi and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break in 2 minutes as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Once again, for more information on Jesse Kalsi, his website is jessekalsi.com. Don't go away. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Jesse Kalsi is my special guest this hour, X Zone Nation. He's an astronumerologist. His website is jessekalsi.com. Jesse, what is the history behind numerology?
Well, there are many schools to numbers. There's a Greek way of looking at numbers. Mm-hmm. There's the Egyptians have their own style. The Far East, India and that region has their own way of looking at numbers. The Chinese have another way of looking at numbers. And then here in the West, the numerology again is practiced very differently. So the many schools and numbers have been used for centuries. I mean, the tradition that I practice is the East Indian, which is about 5,000 years old, and it goes back in the Vedas and the holy books of the Hindus. It comes from there. So many schools, and what I practice is, what I've experienced in my own life. Though I use the Eastern code, but I also look at everything as energy, which you all know, and then my work is more about fine-tuning energy. It's numbers and energy, and trying to create more harmony and balance in our personal lives, in our success, business, homes, and everything else. So that's what I do.
Jesse, are the numbers in our life fixed? Like, if people have numbers that are basically wrong, is there a way that we can change those numbers so that the person can actually live a happy, joyous, prosperous life?
Yes, absolutely. See, what happens is, we look at the basic energy, which is the date of birth, and then from the date of birth, we derive the basic energy. And so the basic energy means the best numbers, the best planets. And then the rest is fine-tuning. It has to tune to your the place where you live. Your home is very important. Your business is very important. Your business name is very important. And then the rest of it's all about fine-tuning the rest to success. And that's what it is. I'll give you a very interesting example. I want to mention this on the air today.
Sure.
There's a company out here in Fremont, California, where I live, and this company is called Solyndra, and it was in the news lately. And this company was a part of clean tech, and it was also a part of the White House initiative. They pumped in almost $535 million of government grant to lift this up and to create more jobs here in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. So I was doing a video yesterday on the numbers of this company called Solyndra, and it was very interesting. I mean, connecting it to the kind of work I do, numbers, and to what happened to this company was, it made perfect sense. Now, this company Solyndra, the numerology of this company has a lot of Saturn energy. Saturn is the number 8, and also if you add the number of letters in there, those are number 8 too. Now, what happens is, whenever number 4 and 8, which is Uranus and Saturn, 4s and 8s, they'll always attract more of 4 and 8. And so that's exactly what happened to this company. It was spread out in 4 complexes, 4 buildings. And then the name attracted that. And the U.S. government gave it $535 million, which is another 4 there. And then President Obama visited this company in the beginning of the year on the 26th of May. And then on the 31st of August, they announced bankruptcy. On the September the 8th, the FBI came calling. So a lot of forwards and eights just kind of surrounded this company and choked it. My point is this. See, the name of this company initially was different. It was not Cylindra. It had another name. And the moment that name changed to Saturn Energy, and we all know that Saturn, as per Hindu tradition, it's a very restrictive planet. It's very challenging. It's very delaying. It'll make you work for the dollar. But then a name like that for a company that is producing energy products was completely wrong. And that was one reason. I mean, that is my angle on numbers. Well, besides the rest, that to run a business, it is very important to have a good business plan. You need hard-working people, smart people, the money, and the rest of it. But the number angle, the numerology of this company was what that really, kind of funneled it down and put it in a quicksand situation from where it couldn't kind of come out. So that is just one example of what numbers can really do. One wrong name, because names are very important. So one wrong name on a business setup. Now, well, if you go back to another company, we'll compare this to another company called Starbucks. See, Starbucks, again, is a huge company out of Seattle, and Starbucks, again, has similar Saturn energy, but that is different because the kind of work is different, you see. So I just thought I'd mention this because it's a hot topic right now, and it was very interesting for me too, because I drive that freeway every single day. I used to look at that name every single day, and I used to wonder, what's up here, and made a lot of sense. Yeah.
All right. If a person is born on a certain day at a certain time, how can their numbers be changed? For example, President Obama. How would you change his birth date numbers in order to give him, if he wasn't so popular and the President of the United States, in order to give him a better chance?
See, President Obama, he's a Leo. He has August the 4th, and see his timing right now. I mean, he's slowly going to get into his Mercury, his 50th year, and so what is happening is that Mercury energy with his date of birth is kind of slowly, is fizzling away, like we all know. Now, see that there are many things. See the number of the White House. So the energy of the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue has. It has choked many presidents, given them a very, very hard time. I have mentioned somewhere in my book as well that, see, the numerology of the White House from 16 should be actually 19, and some people found it funny, but that's what I thought. I thought the 6 could turn around and be a 9, and that 1900 on the sun would be fantastic for any head of state, to have all that energy, and the power that they already have to make differences in this world. So that was one. And then for President Obama, his honestly, the way his energy is set right now is kind of, as the numbers are kind of, going to bring in many more serious challenges for him, and as he moves forward more towards the end of this year, as more Saturn energy kicks in, and so that is that. And the other tools, the tools for shifting the vibe, clearing the energy. There are many other things that one has to do personally, which I'm sure the president is aware of, to do. But his name is pretty set, and the energy of that name is slowly, going away.
So it would be a good idea for people anticipating going into business for themselves or going into a new business venture with another company to give you a call and say, Jesse, how do the two business names work together? Is it a good sign? Is it a bad sign? And you can actually help steer them into bringing something that would be negative into something that would be prosperous.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done this for many years, Rob. I have many clients who are in big businesses, and they've kind of tested me out many times, and yes, we do it all the time. But see, other than that, now, see, for a company now, let's say, for example, now, if somebody wants to run a business like what you do, right? I mean, a big broadcasting house, right? Now, the thing is this, that, I mean, that basic energy, that date of birth, that those vibrations have to attract this kind of work also. I see a lot of people who just kind of follow the rest, right? Well, this is what he's doing, so I should do the same thing, which is always a very, very big mistake. And so it is important for one to first realize or find out what is the best energy that would work for them. and that's the field they should go in. But then, like you said, of course, I mean, if it's a business venture, it's always good to check the name of the business, the day it's initiated, and also the numerology or the captain of the ship, which is the CEO, also has to be considered very, very seriously.
Jesse, one date that we talk about here quite often is December the 21st, 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar. A lot of people believe it's the end of the world. It's the beginning of the apocalypse in the book of Revelations. To you as an astronumerologist, what does the date December 21st, 2012 at 11:11 mean to you?
See, December 21 is pretty much the beginning of Saturn energy, and 2012 has a lot of Mercury. So Saturn, Mercury kind of flow very well. What I see based on numbers, it's just a shift. It's like, you know, an old system goes away and new structures come up. It's like a huge shift. See, 2012 that's coming in with Mercury energy. You know, Mercury is like, you know, it fluctuates. It goes up and down very quickly. It's like the thermometer, right? It goes up and down very quickly. And that's what's coming up for the year 2012. And I think that Mercury is going to be more for money. You know, it's like suddenly, you know, the level drops. It's like the energy dissipates, it disappears, you know. It's suddenly there's, where does the money disappear? It's like that kind of energy that's kind of coming in the new year based on numbers. So I feel it's a shift, it's a change, but it's a new way, a new wave that will set in and clear up this old way of doing business.
Jesse, do you find more and more people who used to look at the alternative ways of doing things, which I include in astrology and numerology, people are having a second thought now, and they're turning to you as an astronumerologist more than they would have 10 years ago?
Absolutely, that's absolutely true, Rob. There are lots of people. I've worked with television stations here in the Bay. I've worked with many prominent people who already read loads of books of numbers. They're searching themselves. They are big executives in the Silicon Valley, and
right.
I connect with a lot of them now, and do a lot of business names for them as well.
Really? So it seems that the old ways are coming back into this technological era that we're just scratching the surface on. And it's interesting to note that not only are people coming back to astrology and numerology as a basis for business decisions, but I'm sure that as we progress into the days and the months and the years ahead after December 21st, 2012, a lot of people are going to be spending a lot more attention to, New Age, paranormal, parapsychology. Jesse, stand by, my friend. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exo Nation Jesse Kalsi is our very special guest, good friend of the X Zone. His website is www.jessekalsi.com. That's JesseKalsi.com. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard, and we're broadcasting from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Like to send an email, suggest a guest, something on your mind? Send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. We'll be back after the news. Don't go away.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. And welcome back, everyone. Jesse Kalsi is our special guest. He is an astronumerologist. His website is www.jessekalsi.com, JesseKalsi.com. Jesse, over the commercial break, you and I were chatting, and what significance, or how does the number on a jersey of a sports player play in the performance of this athlete?
Oh, that's a great question. So, Rob, what happens is, it's like we all know, to play a sport, right? One has to have some talent for the game, which is understandable. Then hard work, of course, is also very crucial. But then there is something called as a luck factor, and the luck factor is also the jersey number that these players carry. Now, how one picks the jersey number is again your best energy, your date of birth, and that vibration, it matches your name energy to come back as a jersey number. And these jersey numbers are very important because, it's that luck behind you. Now, I'll give you one example. See, this famous basketballer, Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan, he was born on February the 17th, 1963. And, see, initially, and he was carrying this jersey number 23, 23 for a long time. But one time before, he had another jersey number, which was 45, when he played another sport. But see, that 23 that he carried later playing basketball was good for him. Why? Because, see, February 17, 1963 has a lot of Saturn energy. And Saturn is very happy with Mercury, which is a number 5. And 2-3 of that Mercury is a very high vibe of 5. And which is, it is like, it just keeps going. It doesn't dip. And so that is one reason why he excelled in the sport. He played so well. He was so successful. But besides the rest of it, his talent and his hard work. So that is that. And then I'll give you another example. This great Canadian Wayne Gretzky.
Sure.
Wayne Gretzky carried a jersey number 99, and he was born on January the 26th, 1961. So he again had a lot of Saturn energy, a lot of Saturn energy. And then those 2 9s, you see, 9 twice is Mars twice. And Mars twice is energy and energy, see? So that, again, had a lot to do with the way he played the sport and played like such a champion. So that is what these numbers can, do to your performance when you play a certain sport.
Looking back in history, Jesse, certain dates that we can never forget, for example, the beginning of World War I, the ending of World War II, the day the bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. When looking back, do the dates, when you look at them as an astronumerologist, does it make sense to you that these events have happened on these dates? And using astronumerology, can we predict events in the future?
Yeah, that is a great question. Certainly, we can predict and look at timings where the energy is going to dip. It won't be the best. But this, there's so much happening on this earth, that just to kind of pinpoint sometimes is difficult. But if one goes back to, say for example, this year 2011. Now, see, 2011 in general carried a lot of Uranus energy, and Uranus. What Uranus does, it always works well with Saturn, and it's like, it's a tripling energy. And so that's what happened this entire year. See, politically, country after country, starting from Egypt all the way to Yemen, and then all the way to India, and then other countries. See, how the effect has been, the rippling effect has been gone globally. Mm-hmm. But you have to get back to your question. Definitely, certain time periods can be picked, absolutely. And people can be cautioned and said, this energy is falling down here, and this is what can happen. Yes.
Jesse, tell us about your book.
Yes. My book is called The Power of Home Numbers, and it's a self-published book. And this book is, based on my research of looking at home numbers. And so it was published about 4 years ago, and we've sold quite a few of these. And the focus of this book is about home numbers only. Now, I have researched and I've lived and I've realized that what home numbers can do to people who live in those homes. And these home numbers, so besides looking at the feng shui or the Vastu Shastra that comes from India or other energy tools, the home number can make a big difference in the life, in the success of the people who live in that home. I see this all the time. And so that's the focus of this book. This book has many examples of different shades of numerology, and they're all true examples of people I've met in the past who've just changed their names.
All right, so
explain the different energies.
So if somebody's going out looking for a home, Jesse, and they haven't got a copy of your book yet, what are some of the red flags that they should look for when using numerology to find a home that would be very conducive to them and their families?
Yeah, that's a great question. See, Robert, I don't add numbers. Say for example, if I tell somebody that number 6 is a good number for you, and you know what, and someone goes and say for example finds a number which is say 4848,
right.
And say, if 4 and 8 is a 24, so it's a 6. But that's a horrible 6 because you've got Uranus, Saturn. But say if someone goes straight, finds a number which is a 105 or a 240, but that is again different. So it's not about adding, it's looking about those individual numbers which are representing planets in there. So, and then as these numbers increase, they get more trickier. So this book is not a how-to book. It's just examples of how complicated these combinations are. And but I could, what happens is, people always, when they consult me, they always call me back, and when they find properties, I always give them my take on the best vibes that they should, go for.
Gee, Jesse, do you teach any courses to real estate agents?
Not really. I'm a broker myself, Rob, but I do have many realtors, who come and consult with me, for their clients.
Yeah.
And I also do a lot of energy work. Say for example, properties don't sell or businesses don't sell. I have some other techniques that I've researched and experienced that we use to sell property and shift property, things like that. But I don't teach any yet. No.
Now, when you go out and you show a client a home, do you get all their information so that you can match them with the best possible home that you have available in your listings?
Exactly. But I'm still a licensed broker here in the state of California, but I don't have that much time now to go out with clients anymore, and I just don't really do that anymore. But I definitely consult with them, and then and other realtors, who kind of come and see me. I always give them information for their clients, and so some way help them to find the best vibe, And yeah, I do that all the time.
In your opinion, Jesse, what is the most important number in a person's life that they should all be aware of?
I think it's the name number. The name is very, very important. And so even if one has a weak date of birth, a strong name that is in harmony with the basic vibrations, is what one really needs to get the best out of life.
Does numerology work so well because this existence that we're in is a binary existence? Everything is based on 0 and 1s. Up, down, left, right, in, out, near, far, red, green, and so on. Is that why numerology works so well with us?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, Rob, what you said, those binary numbers, right? And that could definitely be the right thing, what you're saying.
When you meet people, Jesse, what is the main question that you get asked?
That's I basically read their entire numerology. They talk about their relationships is always is the number one question. Then money, of course, is just with it in these times. And then a lot of young people that I meet with, those who are, trying to pass exams to become attorneys or go to med school and things like that. I work with a lot of those kind of people as well. But it's always, the relationship and money is always the first question that are asked.
I would imagine, Jesse, that a young mother and father coming to you with a child asking you for guidance, you would be able to choose the appropriate path best likely to for success for this child based on their numbers.
That's absolutely true, Rob. That's a great question. Very often, what happens when I do my radio shows here, I get calls from, from hospitals or, when the hospital staff's telling the newborn, the parents of the newborn that we need a number and we need a name in the next 24 hours, and they start calling me,
Wow.
and then look at the date of birth. I come with the best vibration and all that, and I do it all the time for newborns because, see, it is very important for a child, that. We always care for our children, but I think one of the most important gifts that a parent can give their child is a well-balanced numerological name.
Yes. But you see, a lot of people in Western society really pay no attention. Well, they're paying more and more each and every day. But for the majority of people, astronumerology or numerology or astrology means nothing to them, and that's why it's so important for people like you, Jesse, to get your book out there, to keep on making the media appearances that you do, because I've seen it work. You don't have to convince me. But yet there are so many people. There are so many people out there who say, "Oh, come on. Is it true?" Well, yes, it is true.
Yeah. See, what happens, Rob, over the years when I've been, I'm in the media for the last 10 years now, and whenever you're in the media, a lot of people listen to what you have to say, and then they go check you out, and all these things have happened in the past 10 years, and which is really good for me. Where, one time they put me on a television station here in San Francisco, and the program director really wanted to check me out, and then. He had a friend who was a remote viewer who was working for the U.S. government, and they checked me out and all that. It was just wonderful, and the show went really well. But that is absolutely great. But what is happening is, it's when and people are getting frustrated. They've been looking for answers. Mm-hmm. See, earlier when I used to do readings, we have more women came to me. Even still now, I get a lot of ladies come to see me. But now I've seen over the past some years, maybe more men are coming into. It's like from 10%, so it's like 75 and 25. So I can see that shift where more men were kind of stepping in to find out, what happened? I met an accident. I was driving this black color car. It was this day this happened. Why is my name? And it's kind of, it's slowly creeping in, and I see that shift myself.
Mm-hmm. If somebody uses your services in their business, all right, for besides their business name, how can you, Jesse Kalsi, help them and their business to be more prosperous?
Many things, Rob. I help people, find the right kind of people who work for them. See, the staff, they are the important people that you hire, to run your business. Those energies also have to match with you. Those people have to be in the right vibrations to attract more positive energy and not just be blocks in that business, you see.
Right.
So that is really very important in how we do that. And then, what happens is I've come across people who are, operating here in the Bay Area, and then they have businesses in China, other parts of the world, and they're trying to sometimes sell, and make important changes. They look at time, and, we look at the numbers all the time and see would that be the best time to do that or not. So it's all connected. It's energy. It's energy is numbers of energy, and money is energy. So energy. So it's all about energy.
Speaking about money and energy, Jesse, as an astronumerologist, looking at the stock market, were you aware of the crashes that were going to happen before they did?
Rob, I've never invested in the stock market really. I'm the estate business really, so I've never paid much attention to the stock market.
Okay.
I've never really, but timing wise, and numerologically, yes, yes, often I could feel the energy dipping here and there, but then, of course.
All right, Jess. So I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea for people who will want to get a better hold of their portfolio if they were to give you a call or go to your website at jessekalsi.com and say, all right, Jesse, I heard about you on the X Zone radio show. I've got certain stocks, this, that, and the other thing. How do you think would do?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah, we could definitely look at those stock. Definitely we could do that.
Excellent.
That's not a big deal. Yeah.
All right, just stand by. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. X Zone Nation, Jesse Kalsi is my special guest, a good friend of the X Zone. You can find out more about Jesse and how to order his book at www.jessekalsi.com. That's JesseKalsi.com. Don't forget the September edition of the X Chronicles newspaper is available for one and all to read at www.xchronicles-newspaper.com/publisher, and that's with the compliments of the X Chronicles newspaper, Roldmar McConnell Media Company, and our very fine family of advertisers. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue chatting to our guest this hour, Jesse Kalsi, about numbers and astrology here in the X Zone from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Jesse Kalsi is my special guest this hour, X Zone Nation, www.jessekalsi.com. Jesse, how can numerology help to rid a person of the negative energy in their lives?
That's a good question, Rob. It's again about fine-tuning energy. It's about, just yesterday, I had this, one of my clients, she's all the way in Guam, and I was doing her numbers, and then I picked up the energy for her mother, and so I asked her, how's your mother doing? And she said, not too well. And so I said, where does she live now? Well, she said she lives here in Oregon, and I said, what's her house number? So the house number was 4 and 8, and 4 and 8 for her, a trailer in Oregon was horrible on her date of birth, and I said this is not good at all, and so she has to change her the place where she lives, and then this morning she emailed me and told me that she was sicker and she had lost some teeth. So now to go back to your question, right? So that's one thing, right? To fine tune the energy of your residence, right? To shift that negative vibe. Or there is something called as number patching, which I've researched, and I write on that. And so what we do is, you can't tell the whole world go change your house, which is not possible in these times. So what we do is we suggest a patch, like I did in this case. I asked her to use a number 2, which is moon energy, between the 4 and the 8 to split that Saturn Uranus, to kind of get a little breather for that individual, so you could heal a little better, So yeah, I see people coming to me all the time and they say, I feel there's this and that in my house and I can't sleep. Half the time it is the planetary energy that is stuck on the outside of your door, which I've researched and realized over the years. So so numbers definitely can fine tune your vibes and get you out of that fear sometimes, of being engulfed or totally overtaken by that negative energy.
Geez, I'm sitting here wondering, Jess, if a person's social insurance number could also bring them down, but and if it does, how do you change that? Because only the government can change a social security number.
That's a great question. That is absolutely true, Rob. Well, we can change most numbers, but we cannot change the social. That is absolute. You have to live with it.
So is there anything a person can do to augment their lifestyle if they do have a negative social security number or social insurance number?
Nothing really, unless it's social security definitely impacts our number chart or the energy around us. But what can be done is again just fine tuning other numbers to make our other numbers stronger, so we can overpower the effect of a negative or a difficult social security number.
Jesse,
that would mean
Yeah, Jesse, as always, it's great talking to you. I wish you continued success. You'll have to come back and visit us soon.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Take care, my friend. X Zone Nation, Jesse Kalsi has been my guest this hour. He is an astronumerologist. He has a great website, www.jessekalsi.com. That's JesseKalsi.com. And I'll be back on the other side of the news at 6.5 minutes past the hour as the X Zone continues. We're right here from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. And if you'd like to read the September issue of the X Chronicles newspaper, www.xchronicles-newspaper.com/publisher. We'll be back on the other side of the news. Don't go away.